episode 4108, The Road After Failure.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're ready for an incredible week. You know why? Yes, here in the U.S., we're going to be celebrating our semi-quincentennial 250th birthday. Yes, we're going to have some fun here. Talk about maybe a few things that are happening. It's going to be a full week. I hope you're ready for something extraordinary because, yes, you've got it, the road after failure. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter. The Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. Well, I really do hope that you are having a blast. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. You've got the whole World Cup happening right now, and it happens, every 4 years, and it's pretty amazing watching all of them play and what is involved, and man, it can get really hot fast, and then you're like, oh, how boring, right? But then I'd like to question you on this one. What amazes you, like in your life? Is it something where it's like, oh yeah, I'm watching the World Cup and I'm amazed at the talent of these players and how they can just make these goals and all the things. And then maybe it's, Mama Sports Center, not quite for me. I'm more of like hobbies, and I like to sew and I like to quilt. Maybe it's cooking for you. Maybe it's sitting down and reading a book. What amazes you? Is it learning about somebody else's story? Maybe it's really just deep diving into who you are and who you are becoming. Maybe looking back and reflecting. I think a lot of times when we're looking at our lives, when it comes to who we are and who we are becoming, it's easy for us when things are going well. But what happens when failure sets in? What happens when you're faced with, I didn't quite make it. I didn't reach where I was headed. My friend, failure isn't just a setback. It's a message disguised in discomfort and disappointment, right? I mean, that's what it is. We don't like it. I don't like it. You don't like it. It arrives uninvited. I mean, when's the last time you said, come on in, failure? I cannot wait to have a miserable day. I mean, when did you wake up saying that? No one does unless you're having a miserable day and then you joke about it so you laugh about it, right? But in reality, that's not what we do. We don't invite failure in. And it shows up uninvited at the worst possible time, and then it layers itself and you're like, how come? And by the way, it doesn't come quietly. It brings shame, regret, second guessing, and this chorus of voices, most of them your own, right? All the whispers in your head, asking how you could have let this happen. Like, what's your problem? You're not good enough. I mean, you should have known that already. Look how many, right? We've played all those records, all those CDs, everything on Spotify with our failure is on there, and it's a playlist and it's easy. But if you're letting the anguish and frustration of failure call the shots on your next step, you're likely circling the same block, not advancing it. The road after failure, it's real. It does really exist. We don't want to admit it, but it does. But it doesn't open itself to those still standing in the wreckage, rehearsing the crash. At some point, we have to be willing to step back before you step forward. Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Notice what this doesn't say. It doesn't say your paths are going to be straight because you figured it out fast, or because you were hard enough on yourself, or because you refused to rest until you recovered. It says, in all your ways, acknowledge him, which requires the willingness to do what? Stop. To release control, to surrender, to trust something wiser than the storm inside you. Oh, my friend, God's got you. But what happens is this failure comes up again, right? Unannounced, uninvited. And failure floods the mind with emotion, panic, self-blame, the urgent need to, I just got to do something, like, right? I mean, you feel that tension. You may not sound like that, but you feel that tension within you. Your blood pressure rises. Maybe your face even turns red. There's something happen. The feeling, those feelings just rush in, pretending to save you. In reality, though, they often keep you stuck. Reactive rather than strategic, spinning rather than moving. But sometimes we think reactive and spinning is moving, but it really isn't. Wisdom demands that you step back from the chaos of your emotions and seek clarity beyond what feels immediate and urgent. The smarter move is really to decouple feeling from learning, right? What is that? I mean, I'm feeling this, but what did I learn from it? When failure happens, usually there's two responses that compete for your attention. The first is emotional, right? Panic, self-doubt, retreat. Oh my goodness. The second, analytical. Examine what went wrong. Extract the lesson. Identify the next best step. All of it sounds pretty normal, doesn't it? But only one's going to set you free. It's the second one. But the problem is, the first puts you on repeat, right? Exhausted, spinning your wheels, and nowhere closer to where you're trying to go. It's like, I'm not getting there, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to muscle it through. My strength, my wisdom, my knowledge, my experience. Sounds like WIIFM. What's in it for me? It's all about me, me, me. But Romans 8:28 offers a different perspective. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. All things, not just victories, not just comfortable, beautiful fall seasons where nothing's happening. The failures too. They have a purpose. And that purpose is not to paralyze you, but to reposition you. The question is whether you'll stay long enough, though, in the lesson to receive what is actually being offered. C.S. Lewis put it plainly, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. Failure is one of those hardships, isn't it? We don't like it, but we're going to go through it. And it is doing something to you, whether or not you're paying attention. The only choice you have is whether to be shaped by it intentionally or dragged by it blindly. At some point, you've got to turn failure into forward motion. That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Turn failure into forward motion. I mean, when you think about Romans 8:28, right? In all things are going to work together for good, for those who love him, right? And are called according to his purpose. Does that mean we're going to get what we want out of our failures? No. Are you kidding me? That's not going to happen. Because what we see is not what God sees. God's got a divine calling on your life, a divine purpose, a divine plan designed just for you. But let me tell you, you're going to have to go through twists and turns, ups and downs, roller coasters. You're going to have setbacks. You will fail. But all of it will lead you to exactly where you're supposed to be. That is pretty amazing. I mean, wouldn't it be cool to know that you could win the World Cup, but really what you're winning is your whole life? Like, oh, God's really got me. Like, that's really cool. We won it all. You do if you're willing to turn failure into forward motion. What does it look like in real life? Number one, separate your feelings from your facts. Name the emotions without judgment. That's hard to do. Let me tell you, I've been there, done that recently. As I grit my teeth and talk about it. Yeah, seriously, right? Anger, embarrassment, disappointment, grief. They're all real things. We all feel them. And those feelings, they deserve acknowledgement, but don't make your next decision inside the storm. Think about that for a minute. That's not the time where you go, now I know what I'm going to do. And go back to the Wizard of Oz when Dorothy, right? She was laying down. All of a sudden, she's up in the air and the house is going round and round. And I'm talking about the original Wizard of Oz, by the way. I like that one. And she's up there and she's going around and around. I mean, in that moment, you might think, well, I'm not going to survive in this wind. I think I'm going to open up the window, even though technically it's already open, right? You're in a tornado. Probably not a good idea to jump. That's not the time to make the decision as to what am I supposed to do next. Maybe you got to wait till it settles down. You don't know where it's going to settle. You don't know it's going to be in a poppy field. Or you might fall asleep for a little bit. Right? And you wake up, you may have to make some decisions. What is it for you? Separate your feelings from their facts. Journal it. Talk about it. Talk it out with someone you trust. Don't just tell anybody. I'm telling you. That is the worst thing you can do. Someone who's got a mouth on them and they've got knowledge of you, that may be just not a good day. It may lead to another failure. So make sure that you're talking to someone who knows you, that you trust them, and it's mutual between the two of you, okay? It's really important. And then be willing to step away. Return when you're emotionally neutral and really ready to dissect the failure clearly, not reactively. Don't bring the emotional baggage into the conversation or the feelings. Not a good idea. The facts of what happened are going to look different when you're not standing in the smoke, when you're not flying in the tornado in a house with Toto, your dog. It's going to be different when you land. Separate your feelings from your facts. Number 2, extract the lesson, then map your next step against it. I want you to ask yourself some honest questions like, what exactly went wrong here? What was it? Maybe it had nothing to do with you. But you're the fall guy. It's your problem now because it didn't work, right? But what exactly went wrong? What part was within your control? What assumptions did you make that turned out to be false? All great questions. This allows you to own it, to see what did I play in this? And sometimes you may not have played anything into it, but a lot of times you did, and it will show up differently. It's important to recognize that. Your next step must logically address the core failure, not just react to the pain of it. And that's most of the time what we're doing. There's a difference between a move that solves the actual problem and a move that simply makes you feel like you're doing something. Right? One builds and the other just burns energy. What are you doing? When you failed the last time, if you look back, think about it. I don't know. Maybe it was burnt chicken one night. What happened? All right? Maybe you had a hard night. The kids were driving you crazy. The hubby was driving you crazy. It was just a night. And you forgot to set the timer on the oven. And so now there's burnt chicken. And now we're having leftovers. And they weren't too tasty either, but it's been a day or two. You can sit there and beat yourself up and do the oh, woe's me. You can say, you know what? I just made a mistake. And own it. And say, guys, I'm sorry. Mama was just too busy. I got distracted. I was helping here. I'm not making excuses. But we've got this instead. We got peanut butter and jelly and applesauce and whatever else and chips. Yay, Mom, you're the best ever. Great. It's the craziest thing. You're owning it, but you're building on top of what already is past. that you know you can't change. Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And that future is real. That future is for you. But it's built on honest reckoning, not avoidance. It's about knowing and owning. Extract the lesson and then map out your next step. Because I promise you, one step at a time leads to miles of greatness. And then finally, number 3, anchor your next step in principles, not passions. If your next move relies primarily on feeling better or proving something to someone, it's built on unstable ground. It's shaky. It's not going to stick, right? You've heard the saying like, "Oh, I'm just going to throw spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks." Yeah, that's kind of what you're doing here. Not a good idea. And it's really messy too, just saying. Decisions driven by wounded pride or emotional urgency rarely lead where you actually want to go. So instead, anchor in values, clear criteria, strategic goals. What does God have for you? What is he cracking a window open or a door that says, hello, I'm over here, pay attention. If you're not looking for it, you may miss it. Because once again, we get stuck up in our own things, like our feelings, trying to prove something to someone. So ask yourself, does this align with who I'm trying to become? Does this match? Does this address the real problem, or does it just feel good right now? Am I just trying to make a way, to make me feel better? You can feel better by having a cup of tea and go taking a nice warm Epsom salt bath. I would encourage that. Relax. But don't try to create something from your feelings of hurt, your feelings of pain, those feelings of failure that for a little while still sting. When you're one who says, I'm going to focus here and anchor myself to the values, what's next, what God has in store for me, what does this look like, asking for help, praying and saying, Lord, please show me the next step. If you didn't listen, by the way, to yesterday's episode, I would encourage you to go listen to it. Faith moves first. It's a good one. And whether you're a believer or not, doesn't matter. I would just go listen to it. Because a lot of times that the thing is we're trying to control everything instead of just focusing on one step. And that one step might be a phone call, sending an email, sending a text, picking up the phone and talking to someone, going over to someone's house and making an appointment with someone. It's hard to do the next thing if you don't do the first thing. But a lot of times when we're hurt, when failure appears, we're trying to rush through to get to a new outcome, not realizing that there's many steps in between. So when you ask yourself these questions, it helps you stay clear-eyed, right? Clear-headed. And this is how you stop letting save me emotions masquerade as forward momentum. We like it because it feels good. Again, you've got to be careful about the feels. We can get trapped in that. The person who failed is not the person standing here now. I don't know if you needed to hear that today or not, but one day you will if you don't need it today. But the person who failed is not the person standing here now. Why? Because time has already passed since that failure. I don't care if it's been 30 minutes, an hour, 100 days, 20 years. You're not the same person right now. Something has shifted. Your awareness, your humility, your understanding of what you were missing or what you assumed too confidently. That version of you has been refined now, right? Iron sharpens iron. What remains is clear if you're willing to see it that way. This is not a call to minimize what happened or to rush past the weight of it all, right? Failure is a real thing. The feelings are there. Grief is legitimate. Disappointment, well, it's real. But there is a difference between acknowledging the loss and being defined by it. My friend, your failures are not the end of your story. In fact, they're just the beginning. My strength is my story. You are being created in real time. And yeah, failure is part of the process. God is the potter and we are the clay. Right? If you make a mistake, he says, oh man, I see that. But wait, if I just do this and move this, I can redirect. I can reposition. And then it shifts. God is a potter. You are the clay. The question we're sitting with is not only what went wrong, but who is being shaped in the aftermath. You're being refined. Just don't be defined by the failure. Be refined by the God who created you. The goal is not simply to survive failure, to get past it, to put it behind you, to move on. Oh, we wish we could get out of it fast. Man, there has been a few months lately that I have just shook my head. I don't know how many times. I think to the point of me spinning, honestly, because it has been one thing after another. Before the oak tree, and then the oak tree. And then it's been little things like, come on, more delays, more this, more that. I'm sitting here throwing up my hands in the air going, and when? And then I'm reminded. It's not about failure always. It feels like failure though. Some things are just out of your control. You're trying to put all the puzzle pieces together, but I just want to encourage you that the road is open. When you have failure, the goal is to use it in a positive manner. Not in a manner that shuts you down, that keeps you stuck, that holds you in a corner. It's really about saying, okay, I'm going to become the person that I'm supposed to be. And I'm going to let this specific irreplaceable fuel for the next version of what God's building. And I'm going to show up for it. Don't know what it looks like, but I'm going there. One step at a time leads to miles of greatness. Failure is not a detour from your story. And when handled with honesty and wisdom, it may be one of the most important chapters within your story. Remember about being amazed? What amazes you? You might be amazed by what comes from the oh my goodness storms to the oh my goodness rainbows. The road after failure is not smooth. It's not. But it is open. So take the lesson, anchor your steps, walk forward as the woman you are and who you are becoming. Go in peace, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.